Citizen TV. This is Friday Night with Lillian Mooney.
Good evening and many thanks for your time. Let's take a look at stories making headlines tonight. A dash for the courts. 5 Gachagua men obtain court orders stopping their arrest after the Director of Public Prosecutions okayed charges against them.
Yesterday when I checked with the regions, we have over 260 signatures.
Gachagua awachanwa na yeye. Alichaguliwa na mwananchi.
MPs allied to President Ruto's scheme Gachagua's downfall as Gachagua's allies ratchet up his defense. Medical service providers online meeting by government disrupted by protests as chiefs get training to push for registration of Kenyans under the Social Health Authority. Law Society of Kenya files contempt of court case against police IG Douglas Kanja and others over deployment of non-uniformed police officers to deal with protesters. Good evening once again, and many thanks for being with us. Tonight, we tell you the story of hope and recovery. 5 years after sustaining gunshot injuries, DJ Evolve shares his journey towards recovery with us right here on Friday night. It is a story that we are looking forward to, and our sign language interpreter tonight is Belinda Adhiambo. Tonight, we begin our bulletin with the woes facing 5 close associates of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who on Friday afternoon breathed a sigh of relief after securing High Court orders barring the police and DPP from arresting and prosecuting them for alleged involvement in anti-government protests. The orders were issued hours after Director of Public Prosecutions Renson Ingonga approved charges of conspiracy to commit felony against Embakasi Central MP Benjamin Kathero, Embakasi North MP James Gakuya, former Embakasi West MP George Theuri, former Nyeri Town MP Gunjiri Wambogo, and Pius Munene. The suspects claim they are being targeted for their political stand.
3 days after DCI detectives forwarded the investigation file touching on 5 close associates of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Renson Ingonga has approved the charge preferred against Embakasi Central MP Benjamin Gadhiru, Embakasi North MP James Gakuya, George Theuri, Ngunjiri Wambugu, and Pius Munene, accused of planning, mobilizing and funding the anti-government protests. While approving the charge, the DPP also directed that a separate inquiry file be opened for money laundering and financial crimes-related offences against Gadhiru. Ingonga did not, however, approve the charge on inciting others to commit a felony, as had been recommended by the DCI. It is this action by the DPP that prompted Theuri, Wambugu and Munene to move to the High Court to seek to stop their arrest and prosecution. In their petition, the 3 argued that they are facing trumped-up charges, which is an abuse of the court process. They have also argued that they are being persecuted over their support for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua amidst an impending impeachment motion. The suspects asked the court to issue orders stopping their arrest and prosecution until their petition is heard and determined. Justice Lawrence Mugambi, in issuing the orders, barred police and the DPP from arresting, detaining or prosecuting the 3 until the case is heard and determined. The court directed that the matter be mentioned on October 15th. A decision that came as a relief for the 3 close aides of Gachagua, who were missing in action during his tour of Githunguri, Kiambu County on Friday. Embakasi Central MP Benjamin Gadhiru and his Embakasi North counterpart James Gakuya had on August 5th secured orders stopping their arrest and detention until the case is heard and determined. The two are perceived as close political allies of Gachagua at a time when he's facing serious backlash from a majority of MPs from Mount Kenya region. Gadhiru and Gakuya were on July 31st grilled by detectives at DCI headquarters over their alleged links to the protests before being released. Their arrest followed another grilling of senior officials in the office of the Deputy President over alleged involvement in the demonstrations. Gachagua has dismissed the investigations against his political allies, claiming they are being targeted for standing with him and to create grounds for his impeachment. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now, Kenyans have been treated to a game of back-passing by top government officials regarding just who is responsible for the Gen Z protests that rocked the Kenya Kwanza administration's nascent rule. The storming of parliament in June seemed to spark an almost desperate search for the masterminds, with key state officials refusing to consider the possibility that it could have been spontaneous. Accusatory fingers have been pointed in many directions, and the buck, it appears, has currently stopped at the Deputy President's doorstep. We'll bring you that report very shortly. And the Law Society of Kenya has filed a contempt of court application against Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja. This follows the deployment of masked officers on Tuesday during a march by activists to present a petition to the office of the president. LSK claims the non-uniformed officers unlawfully interfered with citizens exercising their rights under Article 37 of the Constitution by presenting a petition regarding 61 deceased and 14 missing Kenyans. LSK saying the action defied Justice Bahati Mwamuye's August 14th, 2024 court order directing police to display their service numbers and remain identifiable. Willie Lusige reports.
Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, Nairobi Police County Commander Adanson Bungei, Martin Mbaye Githinji, Isaiah Ndumba Muragiri, and Moses Mutai Shikuku face a contempt of court case. LSK accusing them of deploying plainclothes police officers who conceal their identities and ununiformed police officers who did not display their service numbers while dealing with peaceful protesters on Tuesday. On Tuesday, drama unfolded at the office of the president at Harambee House as masked plainclothes police officers confronted activists and families of missing Kenyans. They were there to present a list of 60 Kenyans killed during the protest and 14 who have been missing for 3 months. Tension escalated when police attempted to arrest activist Boniface Mwangi, sparking chaos as fellow activists shielded him. LSK asserts that ununiformed police officers unlawfully interfered with individuals exercising their rights under the Article 37 by presenting a petition concerning the deceased and missing Kenyans. LSK wants the police IG and Nairobi Police Commander to be found in contempt of Justice Bahati Mwamuye's court order dated 14th of August 2024, directing police officers to display their service numbers and always remain identifiable at all times when dealing with persons exercising their rights under the Article 37 of the Constitution. LSK has zeroed in on the police IG and Nairobi Police Commander in prayers to the court, asking that the duo be sentenced to 6 months imprisonment. LSK has, however, asked the court to give Kanja and Bungei 14 days to give a written undertaking that they will not repeat the offense and give a guarantee on the same, failure to which the sentence should take effect as well as any other order of the court. LSK say the non-uniformed police officers who engaged protesters were masked, hiding their identity, and they did not identify themselves as police officers. LSK points out that the deployment of uniformed police officers with concealed service numbers and masked non-uniformed police officers is in complete defiance of the orders dated 14th of August 2024. The matter shall be mentioned on the 11th of November. On August 14, the High Court instructed the Inspector General of Police to ensure that officers managing protests wear uniforms with visible name tags. Justice Mwamuye emphasized that police must not obscure their face or identification, nor markings on any vehicle during protests or petitions. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And revisiting our story tonight on Who Sponsored Gen Z, Kenyans have been treated to a game of backpassing by top government officials regarding just who is responsible for the Gen Z protests that rocked the Kenya Kwanza administration's rule. Olive Barrows now reports.
I hereby put on notice the planners, financiers, orchestrators, and abettors of violence and anarchy.
The writing was on the wall. Somebody would pay for the breach of Parliament's defences, the fire set to the seat of the capital's county government, and the ransacking of the Supreme Court at the crescendo of protests that saw the collapse of the heavily contested Finance Bill 2024.
We shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events.
Only who to blame? Just 2 days prior to the storming of Parliament, government spokesman Isaac Mora had pointed an accusatory finger at foreign powers for, quote, sponsoring the protests, claiming that possibly the Russians or even Americans were rattled by President Ruto's pronouncements on the global stage.
Nikiangalia kwa umbali, could be even there is a foreign hand. Juzi amesema mambo ya Russian invasion, kusema kwamba de-dollarization. Kwa sababu dola ikiwa ndio iko na nguvu inachukua nguvu zote za uchumi. Akasema tutafute infrastructure mpya ya financing internationally.
Since then, it's been a moving target. Abductions carried out by the police are painting the picture of an administration grappling in the dark for anybody to blame except itself for the protests. Intelligence briefs pointed at 6 politicians, a businessman and 2 NGOs who allegedly mobilized anarchists. An accusatory finger was also pointed at the Kenya Kwanza administration's favorite boogeyman, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, with unnamed, quote, close associates reportedly placed under investigation as possible financiers. Then entered the Ford Foundation.
I want to call out those who are behind the anarchy in Kenya, those who are behind the sponsoring the chaos in the Republic of Kenya. Shame on them, because they are sponsoring violence against our democratic nation. Mimi nataka niulize watu wa Ford Foundation watuambie hiyo pesa wanatoa ifanye fujo ndio wapate faida gani?
Unfounded suspicions intended to wrangle the civil society organizations, and that saw Boniface Mwangi's Semo Kweli offices targeted. President Ruto making a further mockery of himself when only 3 days ago, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly, he met with the president of the Ford Foundation, Darren Walker, in New York, and, quote, appreciated their commitment to safeguarding Kenya's democracy. The targets now are allies of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who foretold of the backlanding on his doorstep 3 months ago, and who in turn passed the back onto the National Intelligence Service. But with Friday's adoption by the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions of the DCI's recommendation to charge 2 sitting members of Parliament and 3 others for the violence witnessed during the June 25th protests, it appears the buck has stopped at the Deputy President's doorstep. Olive Barrows, Citizen TV.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's allies have attributed his tribulations in government to what they say were coordinated efforts to undermine his office. Another section of Kenya Kwanza lawmakers who spoke in Kericho County called for his removal from office in a day that saw the use of mother language or mother tongue by both camps, as Ayub Abdi Kadir reports.
In the next 1.5
In yet another episode, factions of Kenya Kwanza leaders made clear the widening rift at the presidency. First up in Githongore, Kiambu County, under no illusion, be known to him and his handful of allied lawmakers. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua sought the support of the electorate in central Kenya, who he billed as the buffer against his persecution in government, deploying his mother tongue to convey his message.
Niĩ na president tuokire ngĩoka ngĩmũthaitha ngĩmwĩra mũmũthure ndiamũthaithire ngĩmwĩra tũmũhe kahinda rĩu nĩ twathurirwo hamwe nake angĩ mwamũthurire nginya nĩ ũndũ wakwa nĩma mwanyona hau mũkĩigua mũiganĩire thĩ tiguo nĩ tũrekwo tũrĩkie mĩaka igana.
Latching onto public support, Gachagua made his case before a gathering of coffee farmers.
No tũtingĩtigithio nĩ mũndũ wĩra gatagatĩ. Andũ arĩa mangĩtũtigithia wĩra gatagatĩ nĩ arĩkũ? Kwĩ handũ monete mahĩtia inyuĩ? Na ningĩ angĩkorwo kwĩ mahĩtia rĩ mũndũ toke akĩmwĩre. Okay, andũ akwa mathai nĩ ndoka ĩ. Mũndũ ũyũ mwanengerire wĩtagwo Gachagua ti mũndũ mwega, ekĩte. Okay, athitange kũrĩ inyuĩ. Mũthikĩrĩrie, muge haya. Nĩ twetĩkania nawe, kana tũtinetĩkania nake?
And in not holding back against the president, his allies laid blame where they felt his tribulations stemmed from.
Ndio sasa tunaambia rais, tafadhali, hata kama hauna heshima na naibu wako, patia watu wa mlima heshima. Hawa ndio walikupatia hiyo kiti umekalia, inafanya utoke hapa uende pale, inafanya utenge na uweke. Sababu hao ndio walikupatia hiyo nafasi.
Rigathi Gachagua awachanwe na yeye. Alichaguliwa na mwananchi, agojewe miaka 5 afanye kazi yake, turudi kwenu mseme kama ako sawa au hayuko sawa.
Rigiji is the best deputy president we would ever have against William Ruto. Tusikubali kudanganywa na mambo mingi wamesema, sisi tunasema the president of Kenya walikuwa na mkataba. They had an agreement with the deputy president and we demand respect. Si ni kweli? Aache kusumbua Rigiji, wafanye kazi miaka 5 ikisha kama hata mtaka amwambie. Si ni kweli?
Remember that Joseph had a dream.
In Sigowet, Soin constituency in Kericho County, another batch of Kenya Kwanza lawmakers determined to get Gachagua out of office labeled him as a political liability, expressing intent to remove him from office in a day that saw random deployment of vernacular languages that brought to the light the breakdown at the presidency.
Bas kibikiyoe tumongo negit akemake onai ole biikab tulwet ko biik chekororon. Kakimake kututuyot agenge kityo akecheng chitab tulwet age nenome kasit nekotinye nekonye aketestai.
Their remarks pointing to the evident standoff between the president and his deputy, as has been Kenya's political ecosystem, bearing all the indications and hallmarks of a short shelf life, with consequences on the delivery of the plan the duo sold the Kenyan people to win their votes. Ayub Abdikader, Citizen TV.
Right, and the National Assembly members are expected to table the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua next week, Tuesday, as the House leadership told Citizen TV that the collection of signatures was close to hitting the 300 signatures mark by close of business today. The motion, which must be backed up by 117 legislators for it to be introduced in the House, must also garner the support of 233 MPs to be transmitted to the Senate. And as Emmanuel Toh now reports, the motion, which has been crafted this week in a secret night meetings of regional caucuses, is set to test Gachagua's numbers in Parliament.
For days now, debate has raged on the looming impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Friday, House leaders in the National Assembly, where the motion must be tabled first, telling Citizen TV that it was well on course and that the signature collection drive had raked up close to 300 signatures by Friday evening.
As I speak today, yesterday when I checked with the regions, we have over 260 signatures. And we want to get to 300.
To the extent on whether or when it will be tabled, or if there is, members of parliament are actually competing on who actually should move.
The legislators disclosing that the motion is expected to be tabled early next week.
So Tuesday, if the speaker okays it, then it will be on the floor of the House.
From where I sit, I'll say out of what I'm hearing, it is the question on when, not if.
The signatures, which have remained a secret by the proponents, are said to be collected by regional caucus whips who have been holding night meetings to take a common position.
Supposing anything happens, what happens to this country? Do we want to leave this country in the hands of a person who does not see the whole Kenya and only sees one small area as his area of jurisdiction?
Leaders from Rift Valley are said to have been the first to meet on Tuesday evening with an agenda to protect the presidency. Other groups from Mount Kenya, Western and Coast have followed suit, with a hotel in Lavington, Nairobi, being the point of convergence for some groups. However, the manner in which the signatures have been kept under wraps has raised eyebrows, with questions cropping up on whether or not the motion is even in place.
We have a good team of lawyers that are meeting. I'm sure they have a meeting this afternoon, and they're combing through the documents and looking through them to ensure that we have something that is tight.
Article 145 to 150 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 spells out the process of impeaching a deputy president, a process akin to one which the president is subjected to. The move of the motion from the National Assembly must gather the support of at least a third of all the members, in this case 117 legislators, to introduce the motion. Once in the House, the motion must be accompanied by watertight grounds, which include gross violation of a provision of the Constitution or of any other law, crimes under national or international law, and gross misconduct. The legislators, who have listed several grounds, including Gachagua's shareholding narrative, undermining the president, tribalism, among others, and are said to have acquired services of top city lawyers who are burning the midnight oil to prevent any eventualities of the impeachment being overturned by the courts. If it garners the nod of 233 MPs, representing two-thirds of the total 349 MPs, the motion will be transmitted to the Senate, where the proponents in the upper house must also marshal the support of 45 senators for the impeachment to be complete. In this case, Gachagua will need 23 senators to survive the impeachment. The senators may, however, decide to prosecute the matter in a committee of 11 members or in plenary. The next few days will be particularly crucial for the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and members of Parliament from the National Assembly and the Senate as they prepare to debate and consider the looming impeachment motion against the Deputy President, the first in the Republic of Kenya. The members who are proposing this impeachment maintain there is no going back and there is no reverse gear in the matter. Emmanuel Tor, Citizen TV, Parliament, Nairobi.
Now to matters health, and tonight the implementation of the Social Health Insurance Fund is in disarray, with members of the public infiltrating virtual trainings meant for public health officials across the country over the registration and use of the new health scheme, leading to suspension of the training. The outcry from concerned citizens is for the total abolishment of the new program, with many raising queries on different faults in the scheme, including confusion in adding dependents to one's profile. This comes after a meeting to give an update convened by the Ministry of Health was snubbed by the very conveners. Melita Oletenges reports.
An online meeting meant to train public health officials on the rollout of the Social Health Insurance Fund was disrupted by disgruntled Kenyans online. voicing their disapproval of the new scheme, which has come under harsh scrutiny, not only because of the controversy that surrounds its implementation, but also the dismal benefits members will get vis-a-vis the contributions they make for dental, optical, among other treatments. Kenyans took to different social media platforms to express their disappointment with the registration process, exposing faults they have encountered. Some of the concerns raised online include confusion in adding dependents, with some Kenyans indicating that dependents' names added days after registration are not their dependents. With the new scheme running into headwinds even before its implementation, the deadline for the start of the rollout draws near. But the status of the implementation is even more vague, as the Ministry of Health remains mum about the number of Kenyans who have registered so far, while ignoring the faults in the system. A meeting scheduled to take place on Friday, 27th September, and styled as an update session ahead of the new health system rollout, failed to take place. The conveners of the meeting, the Social Health Authority (SHA) and the Ministry of Health, failed to attend the meeting with no explanation given on why it was cancelled and the status of the implementation, raising concerns on whether the rollout remains on course. The confusion has inspired lack of confidence among Kenyans in the new scheme amid a last-minute rush to create grassroots and rally Kenyans to register. Melita Oletenges, Citizen TV.
With barely 3 days before the official transition from the National Hospital Insurance Fund to Social Health Authority, Kisii County has rolled out a robust training of chiefs and their assistants to spur registration of Kenyans from far-flung areas in an effort to meet the national target of registering 14 million Kenyans into the new program. Crispin Otieno has the details from Kisii.
2 days after the Ministry of Interior committed to bolster registration of Kenyans from NHIF to Social Health Insurance Fund under the Social Health Authority, concerted efforts to incorporate national government officials at grassroots level have kicked off in Kisii. In Sameta sub-county, chiefs and their assistants thronged Itumbe headquarters for a sensitization program. Armed with a pen and a paper, chiefs used the opportunity to shoot questions on some of the grey areas as they embark on the national exercise at the grassroots level.
I was able to register 107.
Michael Oyunge is the lead health officer in charge of sensitization of chiefs in Sameta.
Tumewaelezea jinsi vile mpangilio upo. Kufikia tarehe 30 tunafunga NHIF. Maofisi ya NHIF itakuwa imefungwa, lakini itakuwa imefunguliwa kwa wale ambao wanataka kujisajili kwa Social Health Insurance Scheme.
Na tumeita chiefs, assistant chiefs, hao ndio wako mashinani. Na tunataka watu wamejisajili, lakini sasa tunataka wote wajisajili. Hakuna mtu ataachwa nje.
From the day one exercise, chiefs say they will use their network to comb markets, churches and other social areas to ensure that the program is a success.
Leo tumepata mafunzo vile tutaanza kuelezea wananchi, tuambie umuhimu wa kujiajiri kwa SHA. Tumepata mafunzo mazuri. Why SHA?
NHIF is set to undergo a total overhaul to pave way for SHA, even though a section of Kenyans have raised a litany of questions regarding its viability. Crispin Otieno, Citizen TV, Kisii.
We are up for our very fast break. And tonight, Kenya has made significant strides in making contraceptive access more equitable, particularly in far-flung areas, underserved parts of the country. Women and even men are being more receptive to contraceptive use. This against the backdrop of the world observing World Contraceptive Day yesterday. We'll give you details on that and more right after the break. Government officials ramp up efforts to increase use of contraceptives with marked improvement in the country in recent times. Welcome back to Friday Night. Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos has assured lecturers and university workers unions that the government is committed to addressing their demands in a consultative and collaborative manner. The CS says this is the only way to have a win-win situation, allowing learning to continue in public universities, adding that the welfare of university staff among the lecturers will be improved while giving priority to the welfare of students. He was speaking during the fast graduation ceremony of the Masai Mara Technical Training and Vocational College in Narok County.
I wish to thank the University Workers Union, the Kenya University Staff Union and the University's Academic Staff Union for agreeing to end their strike and to return to work. I commend them for allowing the opportunity for productive dialogue in addressing the concerns of university staff and giving due priority to the welfare of our students. I assure them of the government's readiness to address their grievances in a sustainable manner through consultative and collaborative approach.
Now, Kenya has made significant strides in making contraceptive access more equitable, particularly in hard-to-reach communities. World Contraception Day was marked this week, with Kenya showing massive improvement in access to modern contraceptives, even in underserved communities. Kenya has made significant progress in increasing access to family planning services in recent years, especially in underserved communities. The World Contraception Day was marked at the Olentimama Stadium, Narok County. Here, the community gathered to get information on family planning.
Issues about family planning is not a woman affair. It is the family, the man and the woman. Because when we talk here, we are talking about male involvement. You as a man, you should be in a position to be in consultation with your wife and have an appropriate choice.
Lack of male partner consent, busy work engagement, social stigma, religious prohibition, desire for many children and gender roles has been a barrier in the use of modern contraceptives in some areas. But attitudes are starting to change positively in rural communities.
Kama sina uwezo za kulisha familia, ninaweza kuwa watoto wasifuatane hivyo. Hata akienda shuleni, mmoja tu aende, mwingine akiwa grade 4, mwingine ako class 8. Sasa naweza kuwa naona kama inaweza kuwa ni furaha kwangu. Ameachana kidogo, napata nafasi ya kusomesha huyo mwingine asikutane.
According to the 2022 Kenya Demographic Health Survey, 14% of women in Kenya do not use any modern contraceptive method despite wanting to delay pregnancy. This because the family planning methods they've tried are incompatible.
Nilianza na hii ya tembe ya kumeza madawa. Nikatumia kwa muda, ndio nikaona nibadilishe. Wakati nikitumia depo, sasa sijui kama ni kulingana na maumbile yangu ama ni hormones, ilikuwa inafika mahali ninapata mpaka 8 months. Sijapata hiyo damu ya mwezi.
Over 3 decades, modern contraceptive use among women aged 15 to 49 years has risen to 57%. The Ministry of Health has rolled out free hormonal intrauterine devices, a contraceptive method often prescribed to women with heavy menstrual bleeding. The hormonal IUDs were previously only available in private health facilities at a high cost.
Hapo ndio sasa nikaanza kutumia ya 5 years. Hata niko nayo hadi saizi na inanipeleka vizuri. Hadi mse sasa tangu siku hiyo, sasa tukaacha vita. Hata sasa ninaogopa naweza shika mimba wakati wowote. Akakubali na maisha ikaendelea.
The increased uptake of the contraceptive comes against the backdrop of the WHO recommending spacing pregnancies by 2 years or more following childbirth to allow the woman's body to heal and avoid complications in the following delivery.
Niko na watoto wawili. Maximum yangu ni watoto 4. Nitakuwa na wa space na miaka 3.
Mimi nilipata mtoto nikiwa mdogo, nikiwa na age ndogo na nikiwa na 14 years. So, kimimi venye niko naona sasa imenisaidia sana kwa sababu niliweza kurudi shuleni na nikapata mafunzo.
Besides preventing pregnancy, hormonal IUDs prevent menorrhagia, a condition characterized by painful or heavy periods that can last up to 10 days, thereby helping prevent iron deficiency anemia. Data from the Division of Family Planning Program at the Ministry of Health shows that Nairobi County leads with the number of hormonal IUDs distributed to women, followed closely by Homa Bay, Kakamega, Nyeri and Migori.
The other gap that we may have as a county, being a new commodity on the market, we have not trained 100% of our service providers in the provision of this commodity. But otherwise, in all the 12 sub-counties and in 80% of our facilities, at least we have a service provider, either who has undergone full training on hormonal IUCD.
Family planning is one of the country's strategies to reduce maternal deaths. This by helping to avoid unsafe abortion, reducing the number of births, and limiting pregnancy to the healthiest ages and desired points in time. We're staying with World Contraception Day, and as Kenya joins its counterparts in marking World Contraception Day, the Kisumu County government has embarked on sensitizing men on modern contraceptive use. According to the County Department of Health, the move was informed by the high instances of the change of contraceptive methods, with women citing their male counterparts for disapproving their choice of contraceptive methods. Laura Otieno now reports on the new strategy that is aligned to Kenya's national targets of modern contraceptive use at 64% by the year 2030.
At Manywanda Hall in Seme, Kisumu County, this group is here for their weekly meeting. 29-year-old Asha Omondi is leading a session on the use of hormonal methods of contraceptives. The group has young and old men, and despite the keen dedication of the participants here, the initial meetings were often frowned upon by the community.
The first time when I was involved with somebody was saying that you are too young to get involved into these contraceptives. Yeah, why do you want to do that? Yeah, but now with the technology and how things are moving, and that is when I was now telling them the reality.
This is one of the 25 groups led by men that were dispatched by the Kisumu County government alongside partners in the health sector to weed out myths associated with contraceptive use, especially among rural communities. The pilot project that was rolled out in May 2024 has trained 25 men to lead sensitization campaigns in Seme, with the target of enrolling other sub-counties in the coming year.
Our target is to empower men with accurate family planning information, to encourage men to have safe spaces of discussion in their households with their spouses about family planning, the uptake, the use, and even side effects. And after that, get our community health promoters and our healthcare workers to actively counsel these couples.
From the months of June and July and August, we've seen there is an increase. We are currently doing around 49% in terms of coverage. And then also we have seen that there is a decline in terms of method change, because women who are coming, they are given a method, after 2 months they change. Why? Citing reasons that the men, like the coiled men, say that they are not comfortable.
According to the Kenya Demographic Health Survey, the country has been on an upward trend of contraceptive uptake, standing at 57% in 2022 from 32% in 2003. However, the aim is to increase the uptake to 64% by 2030.
Kupanga uzazi pia ni kitu nzuri na tena ni kitu imekubaliwa na serikali. Hakuna madhara sana kwa family planning kupanga uzazi.
Various stakeholders are shifting gears to community engagement to demystify myths around the use of contraceptives and enhance the acceptability of modern methods of family planning. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Mount Kenya University has established the first non-government maritime training academy in Malindi, Kilifi County, becoming the first privately funded maritime training institution in Kenya. According to the institution, the academy will provide courses tailored to meet global maritime standards with a focus on maritime safety, maritime engineering, port management, and oceanography. The institution seeks to boost the coastal region's economy and empower youth with expertise required to tap into the lucrative opportunities in the blue economy.
But actually the
Malindi Maritime Academy represents a critical step forward for Kenya's maritime sector. It is an investment in our youth, our economy, and our future. The government is fully committed to supporting this institution and ensuring that it becomes a world-class center for maritime education and research.
This marks a significant internationalization achievement for us as a university. These internationally recognized courses to be offered at this academy form the foundation of the global maritime training. We'll provide training that meets international maritime standards, opening doors for our students to pursue successful career in the maritime industry worldwide.
Now, 5 years ago, life changed drastically for Felix Orinda, popularly known as DJ Evolve. He was shot in a Nairobi club, and the incident left him battling for his life. 5 years later, DJ Evolve has shown great improvement in recovery. Tonight, we catch up with him. Thank you for finding the time to host me in your home. It's been a while, and I'm glad to see that you're well. I want to take you back to when all of this happened and the last 5 years. Walk us through that.
I've been learning. Yeah, you have to learn life again, lots of things. But it's been a good experience as well. I got to find out more about myself, how resilient I am, how strong I am.
So walk me through a typical day for you.
I've been reading, studying for new courses like IT. Yeah, you know, right now most things can be done remotely. So I've been into coding in the recent past couple of months. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've also been thinking of concepts to execute while I'm still here. You know, DJing is like riding a bike. When you get it and you get it properly, that's it. Yeah, so my interests are still in music. Even though I've developed other interests, I can see how to fuse them into what I was doing before. I started feeding again after some time. I got my voice back recently. I stopped speaking while I was in hospital. I just woke up one day and found myself whispering. You know, when you're in a position where you can't do anything, you can't communicate what you want to be done. And it just comes with so many things. So getting my voice back was one of the biggest wins. I got most of my upper limb movements, so we are working on the fine ones. Before I decided to forgive, all these things were in my head, my life, how it was, what it will be, what it is at the moment. But I figured out all these things, as much as I ask myself all these questions. As long as there is no solution at this moment, I will keep bugging myself with those questions, and I will end up depressed. Yeah? So when I decided to embrace what has happened and figure out solutions from where I'm at, I started feeling alive again. Yeah? my strength has come from God. That is what has taken me through most of the hurdles I've faced in this journey. Yeah? And also forgiveness. You know, when you carry a burden in your heart and you have to deal with all these things at the same time, it's so much weighing on you. And when there's nothing else to do to be strong, you actually get the strength.
What do you do in terms of your medical routine?
First of all, being home is just therapy on its own. I remember I used to beg my doctor to let me go home. I have my physios who are my family now. We have to do stretches. We have to do some standing aids. We have to do some sitting exercises. I couldn't sit like this before. Yeah. So they trained me to get back my core strength first, to be able to sit. They also trained me to strengthen my diaphragm so that I can be able to breathe well as well. Yeah. And then now my hands, we've been working on them. They're slightly regaining some function. Yeah. And now I'm regaining some sensation on my feet as well. Yeah. I can recognize pain when I have it. Yeah, which is a plus for me. I'm on some pain medications, nerve pains. Sometimes my hands just become inflamed. Yeah, so there's some ointments we apply. There's some also that I take orally. Then that takes care of that. With the meds I take, some of the side effects is gaining weight. So I wondered why all of a sudden I just became big and I was very tiny at the beginning. So finding the seat took quite some time. As you can see, even I'm not fully seated on it because I'm tall, yeah. And the footrest is a bit high compared to where I'm seated. Yeah. From my own experience, you don't have to rush these things because the tiniest win comes after a very long time. I'm just looking forward to when I can be able to do most of the things I used to do.
Injury aspect of it just cost us from the wrist basically for now, is what we are remaining with, going downwards. And that's why we are unable to perform the functions of the finer motor skills. So basically we normally start with the stretches because mostly when he wakes up, he'll find himself maybe feeling some numbness towards the hands, and maybe we'll need some stretches be done before we engage in any activity. So we'll basically do our stretches. Felix by himself has been a very good, I can say he has shown us how to be patient also. In this, because this is not a journey that has been easy for us. For instance, I've been with him for more than 3 years now. So if, in other words, yeye pia angeamua kwa kichwa ngumu kidogo, we wouldn't be having this progress that we are seeing today.
I have a very good support system around me right now. My family, they've been there for me, especially my brother. He's called Don. Yeah, he's worked this journey with me from the start. And he's been there for me as well. My friends, yeah, my physios, my medical team.
What are your thoughts around access and assistive devices in the country in terms of finding yourself in a situation where you have to access certain places?
There's so many gaps. My first encounter actually was a bad one. The first time I stepped out, we decided to go. The first order of business was to get my money in order so I can be able to do one or two things. But getting to my main branch, I wasn't able to access it twice because we went for the first time. Where we parked and where the bank was, it was such a long distance, and the accessibility of the ramps on the side was quite hard as well. Then getting to the bank, there were steps at the door. So I pictured if I was to do anything, I must first of all know where all the places I can access should be, which should not be the case.
How do you rate the quality of healthcare in this country, and what can be done better?
Unfortunately, I'd say the best healthcare in this country is reserved for a certain class of people. Yeah, because if you don't have the finances, you can't access them. But in terms of basic healthcare, most of the places are not catering towards the needs of most people.
Are you, for example, keeping tabs on what was going with the Gen Z situation, with them protesting around issues to do with the finance bill and other issues around how the government is running business in the country, and what are your thoughts around that?
A lot has been going on, especially when the cops started shooting people aimlessly, man. They don't know the effects of living with bullet wounds. Or if they do, some of them have no idea how living after that is. So they should perhaps ask their fellow colleagues who have similar wounds what it takes to recover from one, or even what it takes to live with one. So before you pull that trigger, my brother, think of all those things.
How has this situation shaped your thinking around life and situations that present themselves before us?
Resilience. Whenever life knocks you down, always just pick yourself up and keep moving. Yeah? I've been through so much in my life, from childhood to now. I lived the post-election violence. I was actually like the one taking care of my family during that time because people couldn't go outside. That was another very hard moment. Pick yourself up from that. In school, I wasn't really like a regular attender of school because of fees and all that, but we pushed through all that. I was top of my class when I finished primary school. I had good grades in high school. Unfortunately, I couldn't proceed because of finances, but I still figured out a way to push through, and now we're here seated together. So always just keep moving forward. You will figure it out as you go. Don't keep yourself down when life knocks you down.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and let's keep talking. Trade CS Salim Vuria promises tax and legislative reforms to enhance business environment.
Introducing Sour Milking Jelly from Pwani Oil Products. Sour Milking Jelly is natural and preservative-free, crafted with purity in mind, ensuring a clean, natural choice for your household needs. With its high melting point, Sour Milking Jelly stays solid, providing reliable performance whenever you need it most. The user-friendly pack allows for easy scooping until the very end. Experience the versatility and reliability of Sour Milking Jelly today. A pure and natural choice for your household needs, available at your nearest shop.
Use a gentle cleanser suitable for your skin type to remove dirt, makeup, and impurities without stripping your skin of its natural oils.
It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Diapers come in various sizes and are designed to fit babies at different stages of growth. It's crucial to choose a diaper size that matches your baby's weight and age.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
We believe in ideas that can change the world.
We are for every dreamer, creator, striver, and believer. At ABSA CIB, we are invested in your story, and we invite you to write it with us because your story matters. ABSA.
The Eldred Technical Training Institute and Eldred Teachers Training College invites you for our October intake. We offer courses in School of Computing Information Studies, Business and Commerce, School of Travel, Tourism and Hospitality Management, School of Mass Communication, School of Agriculture and Animal Health Production, Engineering and Technology, Accountancy, Banking and Finance, School of Medical Health and Sciences, Teachers Training College TTC, School of Social Sciences, Fashion Design and Garment Technology, Hairdressing and Beauty Therapy, and now ETTI Driving School is offering a 30% offer for all driving categories. Eldred Technical Training Institute. Ideology for the betterment of humanity.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, muscle pain, and I'm released from pain to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain. New Panadol Extra Soluble dissolves twice as fast versus standard paracetamol tablets.
For kids, serve a variety of colorful vegetables, dark green, red, or orange vegetables with meals.
Afya bora huanza na chakula bora.
You should be the next singing superstar.
Has dull and uneven skin tone taken away your confidence? Presenting Shalina Healthcare's new Epiglow. With power of triple radiance complex, an innovative technology that gives you glowing skin by reducing dark spots in 28 days. Skin science for a perfect glow. New Epiglow.
Wondering what next after KCSE? Enroll at Jordan College of Technology, Thika, where your journey to excellence begins. Experience top-notch education with our more than 100 government-approved courses in technical, medical, hospitality, business, short courses and driving. With fully equipped cutting-edge facilities, affordable fees and exciting co-curricular activities, Jordan College is your best choice. Apply now for our ongoing grand intake and train with the best. Visit us at our new ultra-modern campus, Jordan Towers, Thika Town. Jordan College of Technology, the leading TVET and medical institution in Kenya.
Kidani Mabati is a leading manufacturer of premium roofing sheets in Kenya. We are renowned for our commitment to quality and affordability. Kidani specializes in producing durable roofing sheets that cater to diverse construction projects. We ensure that our customers receive value without compromising on the quality of materials we use. Contact us on 0709 118 300 for exclusive offers on our assorted roofing sheets. Pay a 50% deposit and the balance on delivery. We offer free delivery countrywide. Boresha mjengo wako na Kidani Mabati.
My name's Godfrey Mwirigi Minyori. I come from Meru. I'm a fan of the Aviator game. I learned about it on Citizen TV when I saw somebody that had won the game. I got interested in it and started participating. I've won quite a number of times, but this is the bigger of the wins that I have had. I like the game because it's a game that you can play anytime, anywhere, and it has no bias. And here you can see I'm getting my check for my recent win. Niko na project kadhaa zenye zinaendelea. Itaingia kwa hizo project na tunashukuru kwa Aviator.
Aviator ya Shabiki.com inakupa the biggest multiplier in Kenya. Shinda up to 50,000 times your stake. Yani ukiweka stake ya 100 bob, ndege ipeperuke, unashinda 5 million within seconds. Changamkia Aviator on Shabiki.com. Not for persons under the age of 18. Authorized and regulated by BCLB license number 428.
Let's talk business. The government has committed to implementing key recommendations by the private sector to improve the business environment in the country. And speaking during a workshop on legislative reforms, the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Salim Vuria, acknowledged the need for business reforms to improve the country's economic performance. The workshop, attended by business leaders from the private sector, government and international partners, addressed several critical issues hindering growth. And as Jimmy Mbogo reports, corruption, limited access to capital, and high taxation have been pointed out as the biggest concern for investors.
Tax issues as well. And
the 2-week stakeholder engagement on legislative reforms in Kenya's business environment has emphasized on the importance of meaningful improvement in the business landscape. Private sector players want the government to streamline the taxation policy for a predictable environment. They have also called for the streamlining of business levies to reduce duplication.
Some of the investors that we speak to talk about unpredictability when it comes to taxation. What are we looking at? We want a long-term national tax policy or a national policy that is going to give investors a plan. If they're coming into the country, they're going to invest. They're looking at long-term, they're looking at 3 years to 5 years, even 10 years, but they know that there's some sort of predictability.
the other thing is about levies and charges. The counties are also imposing a lot of levies. Other ministries or departments within various ministries are also imposing levies. This is causing a lot of unpredictability.
The private sector has also raised concerns over the pending bills, particularly those owed to manufacturers. Tobias Orlando, the CEO of the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, says the goal to increase manufacturing output from the current 7% to at least 20% of the GDP and create over 1 million jobs, generating at least 1 trillion in revenue, is pegged on the ability of the sector to access capital, a lot of which is held in VAT refunds and pending bills.
We have a lot of pending bills, those that have supplied. We have a lot of delays in VAT refunds. Statistically, the National Treasury or KRA is allocated about 2.5 billion, while claims go to up to level of 4 billion, leaving a deficit of 1.5 billion. So we need to have a clear conversation on how we can address some of these challenges that affect our manufacturing sector.
The government, on its part, has reassured participants of their commitment to creating a more business-friendly environment. CS Mvurya says the government is focused on achieving Vision 2030's goal of transforming Kenya into a middle-income economy. With increased foreign direct investment and domestic direct investment, he acknowledges the existing barriers such as high energy costs and complex tax structures, pledging that the government would take concrete steps to address these issues, even as they called for collaboration to enhance Kenya's competitiveness.
After this, we'll work on consolidation of all the inputs and prepare a business reforms action plan report with clear agreed issues and an implementation matrix to resolve the issues will be validated by yourselves before presentation to Cabinet and Parliament for consideration.
The way we become globally competitive is not for a mega factory to do everything from procuring raw materials to selling of the final product. The challenge that we have with our market is that we have a lot of major big factories, but there's nobody below them.
Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
The Agricultural Society of Kenya is calling on private sector players to seize opportunities at the newly modernized Jamhuri Showgrounds. The revamped facility is set to become a hub for innovation and agricultural development. Dennis Otieno reports from the showground.
In an effort to boost activities at its facilities, the Agricultural Society of Kenya is urging private businesses to take advantage of the newly upgraded Jamhuri Showgrounds. The facility now features expanded exhibition spaces, as well as modern amenities designed to enhance business partnerships and foster innovation.
We are calling up the private sector again to come pick up the investment options that are presented by this master plan, so that then we can invest together. We foresee an hotel, serviced apartments, as I said, commercial and retail. As ASK, as a society, that is not our core business, but it's included in the master plan.
Private sector players are expected to utilize the new spaces for exhibitions, product launches, and agricultural solutions, benefiting both farmers and the broader industry.
We've consolidated, the planning budget. The first phase, then with close to 1 billion shillings, that picked up the construction of the Ulu Expo and quite a bit of infrastructure upgrade. We've done quite a lot of roads. We've done new boreholes. Then running the second phase that picks up, expands the demo plots, the business incubation centers. Then we're looking close to another 1 billion. So that then will be, at that point, will be, really about, in terms of implementation, will be at about 80%.
ASK believes increased private sector involvement at the modernized showgrounds will drive innovation and contribute to Kenya's agricultural growth, opening up new market opportunities. Muthoka made the remarks on the 5th day of the week-long Nairobi International Trade Fair, which concludes on Sunday, the 29th of this month. With the doors open for private sector investment, the Jamhuri Showground is set to become a vibrant center for collaboration, innovation, and agricultural process. Dennis Otieno, Citizen TV, Nairobi.